Welcome back.
It is NFL Week 6 because we're going to stop counting episodes because NBA season is about to join us, which means we are going to have so many things for you.
It's like 3 episodes a week. You're so welcome.
So you're so welcome. If you haven't seen enough of our faces yet, get ready to see a lot more of us, baby.
It's never gonna end.
It is honestly my favorite time of year, which is when basketball and NFL are together. And on Sunday, I essentially had the best day of my life. And I got to go to the Broncos game and then immediately leave and make it to the Nuggets preseason game and sit right behind Russell Westbrook. So I'm just riding the high.
I'm so jealous. I have totally done that before. The back-to-backs are like my favorite.
That's the first time I've ever done that.
I did it my senior year.
So
we went
fun.
the Broncos had my senior year, they had one of like the early games. But like at home, it was like an 11 a.m. game. And so we got to go to it and enjoy that and everything. And then after the game, it ended at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then we went to like this bar and restaurant downtown. And then the Nuggets game was like right at 5. So it was just like perfect timing.
Oh, I wish that's how it was.
I know, yours was kind of weird.
We had a long day. So we had to get to we rode with our friend so we could be in like the friends and family parking. So we were literally there from 11:30 and obviously the game didn't start till 2. And we were with my friend and my friend and her 2 kids. It was so much fun. And then we literally got tickets sent to us literally mid game. And we were like, should we do it? Should we do it? We're looking at each other.
Of course you should.
And so the game started right as we were leaving the field. So we literally ran home, probably changed in 10 minutes and then skedaddled our way there. And then the ladies, we almost had to go home because the mean ladies, I guess apparently have changed the bag rules at Ball Arena and they didn't want to let me in with my bag that's literally this big.
Your little black one?
Yes. And I was like, the lady was so mean to me. I was like, I literally was probably at 20 games last year and I had this bag with me at all times. She goes, well, we've been posting it on the radio and on the news that there's a new thing. I was like, do I look like someone that watches the news or listens to the radio?
Or listens to FM radio?
Sure don't. I sure do not. I promise you there's just lip gloss and a comb in here.
She's
you can
like,
check.
we posted it in the newspaper.
We literally sent
it in the newspaper.
She's like, we literally sent a turtle dove to your front door. You didn't get it?
You didn't get your little messenger owl?
And so then I went around to, this is a little sneak, and I went around to a different gate and she was like, if you can get in with it, by all means. And I got let in. So I almost had to throw away my really expensive bag because I didn't know what to do. But anyway, we made it. Nuggets lost. This is an NFL episode, so we won't go into details, but we'll go into details.
We can go into details this weekend. We got to talk about
this weekend. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
a lot happened this weekend. Wasn't great.
No thanks.
Kentucky lost, and then meanwhile, I literally had to watch the Denver Broncos only play 1 quarter of football. And then I had the Cowboys on my phone while I was at the stadium, and they were also not playing any quarters of football. So
they played none. No, I don't think they showed up. I think just Brandon Aubrey showed up. TBH.
It was rough. Didn't love it. Jerry Jones. We have
happy birthday.
We have many things to discuss. Hit me up. I'd love to chat. Would love to chat. I'll give you my number. Slide in the U Sports DMs and
not the U Sports DMs,
please, because I have several choice words to say to you.
Me too.
It was rough.
It was a weird week of football. I mean, okay, so
week. It was.
I was gonna say we can even
week, a mild week.
I would say so. Yes, and I'm gonna I was gonna say we can even just jump right into it because game 1 I wasn't even able to watch because I was at a wedding. But I did watch, what's it called? Highlights and everything like that. And I read up on it. So, I'm a little in the know now, but, you said it was kind of a crappy game. The 49ers and Seahawks.
I don't know. I think I just wanted it to
Or
be
boring,
like
I guess.
Yeah, I think I just wanted it to be much more like back and forth,
Yeah.
like really, really close, like down to the wire. So it's not that it was boring. Like Brock Purdy looks amazing. I think Caitlin and I know Caitlin and I talked about NFL Week 1. We were talking about, is Brock Purdy a superstar or just, an averagely good
surrounded
NFL
by
player?
superstars.
Surrounded by superstars. He threw for 255 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did great. Deebo Samuel had a great game, especially after last week. Brandon Ayuk was the one that went nuts, and he was kind of quiet this game. Debo threw he had a 76-yard catch and run touchdown, 3 catches for 102 yards. He did great. George Kittle, who Kayla and I were just talking about right before this, we started recording.
Kittle.
We love George Kittle. He had 5 receptions for 58 yards, but him and Juszczyk, I finally learned how to say his last name.
Thank you. I was gonna ask.
I finally learned it. They both jumped in the stands after their touchdowns to hug their wives.
It was so cute. I was freaking out.
So cute. We
Everyone
love
is so
NFL
happy.
players that are actually nice to the women in their lives.
We especially love those. Shout out to those men. Shout out to men who are good to women.
Who are decent human beings. It's the bar is real low in the league, and I'm happy you're surpassing it. I love
it was so sweet though.
Yeah, Juszczyk's wife is for the girls that watch us, she makes a lot of fashion, and she designed those really cool coats for that really cool Kansas City game. Yeah, the jacket for Taylor and Brittany, the big puffers. And she, if you don't follow her, you should follow her. But he always hypes her up on her designs. And,
he was the one, he was literally last year, he was the one that was commenting on every Instagram post with Taylor in the jacket being
making sure they knew it was his wife.
I love it. I love that.
And George Kittle and his wife look like such besties. Of course, you know.
Are.
Well, I just saw that on the receiver show, but they were so cute together. So that was the highlight of that game for me. And the Seattle and the Niners are now tied for the first place in NFC West. So
yeah.
The 49ers had a rough start.
Yeah.
Because of the injuries.
Oh, that's what I was going to say is literally that's what I was talking to you about. Before we started filming, I was telling her that this is the week of the rookie. There were so many rookies that stood out. Truly. And so this game was one of the games that this happened because obviously we all know the 49ers are injured. You have Christian McCaffrey and, George Kittle was injured and blah, blah, blah. You have
Debo
several
was
people.
out.
Debo was out. Exactly. You have several very key offensive and even defensive pieces that have been out for this team all season, and people kept getting injured this game. So not only were they injured, but they kept getting injured, and they literally ended up with their third string offense, the 49ers did. And so they had 3 rookies show up big time for the 49ers, and I just wanted to shout out to them because I always find that you and I talk about when you are the one sitting on the bench and your name gets called and you show up and show out, shout out to you because you just got to stay ready. And so their safety, Their safety, Malik Mustafa, he got his very first interception. Their cornerback, Ronaldo Green, got his first career interception. And their rookie running back, Isaac Guerrero, had a 76-yard run, which set up the final touchdown to seal their win. So just 3 really big plays from 3 rookies on their team that had to get called up because they were on the third string. Yes. And they
New kids on the block.
Exactly, and they helped seal their win. The two interceptions were interceptions that led to scoring drives, which is really cool. So you're really you're affecting the game. You're turning it around. Yeah. I just thought that was really cool. Seattle and the 49ers, they're both dealing with a lot of injuries. So I'm honestly kind of surprised that this game was as high scoring as it was. 36-24, 49ers won, and like you said, they're tied for the top. Yeah. Yep,
tied for the top.
Not too much about that game. Obviously, injuries are kind of killing everyone right now.
They're ruining everyone's season.
Yeah, so not super fun. But after that, we have a very special game. In London.
Another overseas game in London.
Yes.
And the best part of this game was the tea party celebration.
Oh my God, stop. It was so cute.
The audacity, the gall, I don't even know. I will never forget about that. Literally ever.
Okay,
and
I'm such a
put that down here.
Yes, I'm such a celebration girl. Like in the NBA, the NFL, like I love
want the
people's
NBA
celebrations.
Yes, I literally want like the NBA to allow them to be more flashy without giving text.
Yes, exactly. Like as long as you're not being like an asshole, they should be able to have fun with it.
If I just posterize like LeBron James, you best believe that I'm about. Y'all see that? I'm doing something.
Let me have fun.
Let me have this minute. How are we? And it is funny how like some of the NFL ones get fined and sometimes they don't. But the audacity to play in London and do a tea party celebration.
And I just like, I
11
have to
out of
like
10. America.
Yes, literally. And the best part is them literally the entire team sitting on the ground in a circle. Like they went all out with it.
They did.
They went all out. Yes, it was incredible.
So good. And it was not great for the Jags, but it hasn't been great for you guys for a while. So nothing's changed. So Chicago Bears won 35-16. Caleb Williams, I'm so happy for him again, is like, I was like really worried that like his one game was like a fluke, but no. He's continuing. You can see to get more comfortable. Good. 23 of 29 with 4 touchdown passes. Yep. His 79.3% completion percentage was the best ever. Of course, this is like a very like specific stat.
They're always, yes, they always are.
It's the best ever for an NFL rookie with 4 touchdowns and 25 plus passes in a game. But either way, he broke a record. He did it.
He did. And
after he was so breaking things with his body the first 4 weeks. That man was getting.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, with the way that the Bears played the first 4 weeks, like I'm actually really surprised that they're 4-2 right now. Like I forgot that like through the first 4 weeks they were 2-2 because I feel like they played so poorly, just like as a team.
Know. They did.
Yeah, and now they're 4-2 and like they're absolutely killing it. Like I was thinking about that and I was like, I thought that they were like a really mid team, but like obviously with Caleb Williams getting comfortable, like they become a lot more of a threat. 4 passing touchdowns is huge. You and I talked about on our Sunday slate preview how this would probably be a game where he can get a lot of airtime and be throwing longer passes and
more
get comfortable. And that's exactly what he did. That is exactly what he did. And also,
we're so smart.
We are, because I was just about to say also, if you remember,
we know ball.
I was talking about how they're going to be looking for that 3rd game in a row with a rushing touchdown. Yeah. And the Bears' 5th touchdown was a rushing touchdown by DeAndre Swift. So that's the first time in 30 years that they've had 3 games in a row with a rushing touchdown. So really cool to see. And it's funny. I literally put to that Caleb Williams, like comfortableness in the game, in this game for him, probably came from the fact that the Jags were only able to pressure him on less than 1/3 of his dropbacks.
Yeah, they have one of literally, I think we talked about that in our game preview too, that they have literally one of the worst defensive lines ever. So, currently,
and
at
like,
least.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny too because like I was looking, like as I was watching the game, because I was obviously up at the ass crack of dawn with my children. I was watching the game, and as I was watching it, I was like, you know, like the Jags like don't look awful like at the beginning of plays, and then like at the end of plays, like they cannot complete a play. The way that the play is set up, it looks okay. The way that their O-line blocks for Trevor Lawrence mostly looks okay. Like things happen at the beginning, and then you have guys dropping passes, and then you guys have fumbling the ball. you have guys fumbling. You have guys turning the ball over. I cannot speak. They made so many crucial mistakes, like at such important times where they could have been scoring. Two of like their fumbles and or interceptions thrown were literally like in the red zone when they could have been scoring. It could have been a much closer game, but they couldn't get there. So I just think that the Jags, like they're messy. They don't know how to. Yes, like they have the makings of what could be decent, and then they're just awful because they really just can't play. So I don't know. Not too much about that game besides the fact that Caleb Williams looks amazing.
We were talking about next man up, so I literally have to talk about
yes,
Komet, or however you say his last name.
Yes.
So Komet scored 2 touchdowns and had to go into emergency long snapping duties. Because
he was a long snapper. He had to long snap.
He had to long snap. So they literally asked him after the game. He said, "Definitely not a position I envisioned playing in the NFL ever."
When did this happen? How did I not know?
Scott Daly left in the game early with a knee injury. And so he literally says that this is his biggest fear each game because he became the designated emergency long snapper once the team found out he did it in high school. So he literally, he only does a couple of long snaps like each week in practice.
Shut up. And he did it. He said, I'm going to score 2 touchdowns and I'm going to shoot you a long snap.
The tight end successfully snapped after each of Caleb Williams' 4 touchdown passes and DeAndre Swift's 1-yard plunge as the Bears 4-2 won their 3rd straight game for the first time in nearly 4 years. I just thought that was so funny because he literally said this is his biggest fear. Every game is getting the call. And he was probably like, no.
He was like, I have a knee injury too. I gotta go.
My knee's feeling funny.
I have a little cough. So sorry. I'm busy.
COVID. I think, can we use that still? I think I have the COVID.
Can we? I don't know. I'll probably use that forever. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be 90 and I'll be like, it's the COVID.
I have COVID again. Yeah.
God damn it.
I didn't have much on that game either, other than Jacksonville still sucks and Caleb Williams is like slowly.
He is, and the team looks good. I feel like the team looks comfortable. It's a climb. How was that? Did you like?
On to the Buckies, the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers versus the Saints.
Bucs won 51-27. Caitlin.
51, man, that's crazy.
Especially after didn't Baker he threw 3 interceptions in the first half.
He did. They were all in the second quarter. So the Saints scored I think they scored all of their points.
Ouch.
Literally. So the second quarter was awful for this team, for the Buccaneers. They did horrible. So Baker Mayfield had only thrown 2 interceptions the entire season and then threw 3 in the second quarter of the game, which obviously led to the Saints' first half comeback because it was originally 17-0 at the beginning of the game. And then in the second quarter, the Saints scored 20 unanswered points, and then they each scored another touchdown before the Buccaneers scored 27 by themselves.
This was a score that I did not see coming at all.
Ever.
But they got lucky. Bucky Irving and their second-year back, Sean Tucker, had huge games. They combined for 217 yards and rushing and another 80 yards receiving, both of them. So the team's 277 rushing yards is the second most in team history. And that was obviously needed after Baker Mayfield threw 3 interceptions in the second quarter.
Yeah, just a little bit. I feel like the Buccaneers are like slowly becoming one of those teams where I'm like, are they really good? I feel like they've always been like,
well, they started off
this season.
I feel like it went like this because we were like, We were like,
Yes.
wow, the Bucs look amazing. I didn't expect the Bucs to look so good. I thought the Bucs were going to look awful. And then
Oh
I
my
was
God,
like,
the Broncos
oh,
scored 27 points on the Bucs.
the Bucs look bad. The Bucs don't look good. And now they're back and looking really good. Another fun stat is they became just the fifth. Wow, I cannot speak. Fifth.
Me neither. It's okay. Fifth.
The fifth team in NFL history to have at least 300 yards passing and 275 yards rushing in a game. So their total of 594 offensive yards were the second most ever yielded by the Saints. Like ever. I mean,
that's actually insane.
We knew that this likely would not end up in a Saints win. You have a new quarterback, Spencer Rattler, who was intercepted twice. This Spencer would never be intercepted twice, okay?
Ever. But let's also talk about the fact that he looks like Seth Curry and Patrick Mahomes had a baby.
I don't see the Patrick Mahomes in it.
No, I think you're right.
Maybe anyway.
I don't know. I got nothing. But either way, he's got a unique look. Okay.
He's got a unique look. He finished 22 of 40 for 243 yards and a touchdown pass to another rookie, Bub. Bub means Bub. Alvin Kamara scored his 7th touchdown this season on a 4-yard run, and Rashid Shaheed returned a punt 54 yards for a touchdown. So they still had some offense going a little bit better than they've been doing in the past couple weeks. You know, I think for a rookie quarterback to come in there like last minute-ish and get 27 points is pretty dang good.
Especially because he was a 5th round pick. Like I said, he's some guy that like we talked about this last week. Like he's some guy that
had no idea who he was.
Yeah, and you're not like expecting him like Drake May. You're not expecting him to ever have to come in behind Derek Carr.
No.
But obviously with him getting injured, you kind of have to. You're okay. Am I boring you?
So sorry. You're not. It's just the mindset.
You're just fine. But yeah, it's I think that he did just fine. And we'll talk about this a little bit too.
Saints defense did not do just fine.
No, they didn't. They're
allowing 51 points in a football game.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Broncos when they allowed 70 from the Miami Dolphins.
I thought it was more. I thought it was like 90. It was.
I thought it was 90. It was only 70, but valid.
See, listen, I feel like that game was like low-key allowed because it was so personal for
Mike McDaniel. I know. So freaking. Now we can move on to an even more fun game.
Yes,
the Commanders versus the Ravens.
This was the game that I was like the most excited for this week.
Me too.
Caitlin and I, as we said, this week was kind of tame, kind of boring. You didn't have like Vikings playing, who everyone knows I'm kind of obsessed with lately. Vikings didn't play. Chiefs didn't play. So, there wasn't anything.
And there weren't like a ton of like
really good matchups.
Games. Yeah,
no.
Exactly. Besides this one was one that we were all excited about.
But they're like by bad teams. So like, does it really matter? So yeah, Ravens versus Commanders. Ravens won 30-23. Pretty much as expected. I thought the Commanders would get a little more offensive output, but I am like so happy that the Ravens, like, because they started off 0-2, and I was really confused because I was like kind of convinced the Ravens were going to the Super Bowl this year, and after the first 2 games, I was like, they look not great. Like Derrick Henry looks great, Lamar looks great, but like the team doesn't look great. They now look amazing. Their offense is literally, I hate to keep saying it each week, but literally and figuratively running all over everyone's defense. Like you literally cannot stop their run. And
they apparently solidified themselves as the number 1 offense in the NFL this week after beating the Commanders. So now they do have the number 1 offense in the NFL. So what you're saying tracks, bestie.
And I think Lamar Jackson's on track for another MVP, to be honest. I think like you literally could throw him and Derrick Henry like in that ring, but the Ravens
get it on in there.
This week only rushed for 176 yards. So to be fair, I did say that the Commanders defense needed to step up because statistically they didn't have a great defense. And of course, last year they had an even worse defense.
Much worse.
The past couple games, they've been putting it together, and to limit them to only 176 yards was better, but their secondary is not good at all and allowed 323 yards. Lamar Jackson was 20 of 26 passing. In the past 2 weeks, he has now thrown for 671 yards and 5 touchdowns and has only thrown 2 interceptions all season.
Going off of your comment about his 600 plus yards in the past 2 weeks. So this is actually his second game in a row but passing for 300 plus yards, which is only the second time in his entire career that he's had 2 games in a row passing for over 300 yards. So he's had a monster couple of weeks with passing. And when you're a team like the Ravens, and you have the best rushers in the entire NFL, including your own quarterback, it's impressive when your pass game is just as strong. Like Zay Flowers also had his second consecutive 100 plus yard game.
He's amazing.
He's been amazing too. Yes, it's just I love this statistic because I think it's really cool. Lamar Jackson is 22-1 against all of his NFC opponents in his entire career. 22-1. He has lost one NFC. Like he's lost to one NFC team.
I wanted to shout out because we know we have a very vocal Commanders fan here. First of all, your team didn't win, so relax a bit because you were being mean. We have had nothing but good praise for the Commanders, even though I am a Cowboys fan. The fact that the Commanders haven't really had a huge test this season. So like this was a big game. So for them, I think to only lose by a touchdown is very impressive, especially with a rookie quarterback. Jaden Daniels has still been absolutely incredible, especially they didn't have Brian Robinson. I bet this game would have been even closer had they had him. You know, we both knew that he was going to have to pass anyway because the Ravens have a strong run and they're really, really strong at stopping the run too.
Yeah.
So he still completed 24 of 35 passes, 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. I am so obsessed with his game. I don't know. His passes are just
so good.
He's so good. His passes are so precise. And I can tell that he and his offensive coordinator get each other. I really think Cliff Kingsbury has been doing an excellent job at giving him the task to do more each week. He's stepping up, but he started off, calculating those short passes, just getting them comfortable. He's been
kudos. Consecutively getting longer and longer and doing harder plays. Couldn't agree more. Yes, that's exactly what I'm seeing too.
To their offensive coordinator. The Ravens secondary isn't, their strong suit, but, this again is just giving more experience, more competitive experience because the Ravens, of course, are an extremely competitive team. And I just had to say that, wow, I love to shout out, obviously, the offensive coordinators, the defensive coordinators, because it is learning your quarterback, every guy's different. So for you to be able to adjust and not just, have the same plan for every guy that you come, that comes into your organization or whatever. I don't know. Great job, Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say
sports
too.
Round of applause.
Lucky him.
Snaps.
I was going to say the same thing though, because the thing about Cliff Kingsbury is that he's really built this offense to cater towards all of Jaden Daniels' strengths. And so I think we talk about this often. When you're a coach, you really have to make sure that you're when you're a coach, you have to understand that blanket things don't always work. You can't just do the same thing for everyone. Certain things will work, go team, but especially when you have a rookie quarterback.
Yahoo!
Woohoo, yay. But yeah, no, he's done an incredible job of looking at Jaden Daniels' strengths and, creating plays and creating offensive schemes and doing all this stuff to make this work for him, for Jaden Daniels and for this offense as a whole. And just really, they've done a great job at creating a game plan for each team that they play and what that looks like. It's been really cool to watch. I'm very impressed with this team. Like you said, they haven't played the hardest teams. I think that they've played the Dolphins and the Bears and the Browns. and the Patriots, I think.
And
they've played lots of teams that aren't that great, but they've still showed themselves to be incredibly dominant. I think their pass defense needs a tiny bit of work as well. But other than that, like, round of applause to this team.
Yeah,
They've really,
the defense as a whole, of course, needs like some work, but vast improvement to last year.
They were 4-13 last year, and they even only won 2 of their 3 preseason games. So to come out and just like and play the way that they have, as dominantly as they have, it's been really cool to watch. So shout out to them. Go team.
Oh, and last thing on Lamar Jackson, because I already said that I'm sure he's in the running for another MVP, is Jackson. Jackson moved into second on the career rushing list amongst QBs. So
wow. Oh yeah, he's just behind Michael Vick, the animal bad guy.
The bad guy. Moving on to another less than stellar matchup. Cardinals and Packers.
Woohoo.
What a boring week. Boo. Tomato.
Oh my God, truly though. And I'm like, I think I'm a little sad about this because the Cardinals keep getting worse. And
Remember how I said I don't know how to read them? Don't know how to read them.
Well, because I just like the Kyler Murray is so good. He's so good. And like, I feel like this team can be so good. They're so hot and cold, but their defense is just trash. It's just so bad.
And it's clear that like Kyler Murray didn't really know what to do once Marvin Harrison Jr. was out.
Yes. I mean, all you have is yourself and James Conner at that point.
Exactly. So there's just like not enough talent to pass to.
Yeah.
But also like it's clear he's not comfortable passing to anyone else really besides Marvin Harrison Jr. So Trey McBride was the team's leading receiver and had almost 100-yard, receiving game.
Yes, he had a great game for a tight end especially. I was saying the same thing because I was talking about since they've lost so many offensive weapons just due to injuries and then they already don't have anyone else. Trey McBride is probably going to be used a lot over the next couple of weeks until
for sure. I literally had written down that the Cardinals defense was average bordering on concerning, and I think it's more bordering on concerning now. Because
I don't think there's even a border, honey bun. I think we have jumped right on over
customs,
to concerning.
We skipped customs. We are over the border.
Visa is stamped, honey bun. We are legally in concerning. We are here. Yeah.
Because Jordan Love had a career high of 4 touchdowns for sorry. Second time in his career. So
okay.
And they also gave up 179 rushing yards. So they're 2-4.
Yeah.
Love is back. I like Jordan Love. He's, only had 1 interception this week. I told you he needed to clean it up a bit. He did. A bunch of these games didn't have too much going on because I feel like everyone's injured. So like all of the star players that are usually doing really cool stuff aren't doing really cool stuff because they're doing really cool stuff sitting on the bench, which isn't cool at all. So
yeah, injuries everywhere. And that's actually what I was going to say. So Jordan Love is reminding me a lot of kind of Jaden Daniels this week, where like he's been getting kind of increasingly more comfortable. Oh, bless you. You good?
Yep. Just adjusting.
Jordan Love has been increasingly more comfortable. With like his passing. This is 2 of his touchdown passes were for 15 yards plus, which doesn't sound like a lot, but before that, this is like the first time all season that he's made touchdown passes that high. Normally they run the ball in, especially they did that with Malik Willis a lot. Normally they'll run the ball in or they're like quick little 5 to 10 yard passes. So 15 plus yards, 2 of those touchdown passes. He's getting more comfortable with kind of like the longer pass game and bigger plays. And so I think that that's really great for Green Bay. I know that they played the Cardinals, who have an awful defense, but scoring 34 points when you've kind of had a wishy-washy offense is really cool for them. And just a random little stat, if we're talking about cleaning things up, Arizona had 13 penalties this game. 13. 1-3.
Did you say Cowboys?
Almost. So close. Yeah.
It is Halloween. They're dressing up.
It is scary. Yeah. Like I said, Arizona's just a rough team. They have they've got some work to do. Game, go Packers. Go, what is it? Go Big Red, go Cheeseheads, go Pack, go. That's what it is. I knew there was the word go in there.
On to more teams at the bottom of the
I was
league.
gonna say
Titans.
This one
Colts.
was funny. This one made me laugh because like I feel like you and I were just like, even though I guessed that the Titans would win and you guessed that the Colts would win, I just feel like we were both spot on with like the way that we saw this game going. It was exactly how we expected it to be.
Spencer was 1 point off.
You were almost perfect. Yes, I literally texted Spencer and I was like, "You were 1 point away."
Yeah, Titans versus Colts was just another shit show. So sorry. You try again next year, both of you, which is hilarious because after week 1, Caitlin and I both called the Colts rated. We were like, are they underrated contenders for
we were also really excited
contention?
about the Saints too. So
but the Saints, everyone was kind of excited about the Saints.
Yeah. Well,
so
we don't always have correct takes. Okay, friends, we're here to admit when we're wrong. And we were wrong. The Colts are bad. Shout out to Michael Pittman Jr. on the Colts.
That's the only thing I had. So yes, you can.
Yes, he had a back injury. Played through the back injury. He had a decent game for himself. And back injuries are no easy feat, especially when you are playing a very physical contact sport. So shout out to him for doing that. Hopefully, he did not injure himself. I feel like they have a bye week coming up, so maybe they can rest him a little bit, get him a little nap. Maybe an ice pack for the back.
A little, what is it? R&R? R&R. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's it.
Love that. He needs it.
Some rest and relaxation.
I just opened up a new note. The other thing that I had was that this will likely be Joe Flacco's last Superman game. Anthony Richardson is back and should be back playing again on Sunday. So we'll see how that works out for the Colts themselves. I think that Joe Flacco had a totally fine game. He's Joe Flacco. He holds down the fort, as we always say. He's just there to do a job.
What do you think Tennessee is going to do
with Will Levis?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that they've like accepted that they're bad. Like, what do you think that they're going to do?
They don't have any like one that can step in his place, do they?
I think you could give Mason Rudolph a chance.
I say give Mason Rudolph a chance because
Will Levis is bad.
He's so bad.
He had less than 100 passing yards. Did you know that?
95.
Yeah, 95 passing yards this game. Technically, he's just awful. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. They're so bad. And the Titans play the Bills and the Lions next. And they just don't have enough offense to make it happen. Tony Pollard cannot play by himself the entire season. So sorry, Titans. Sorry, Colts. You guys are both really bad, and this was a boring game, and I don't know what you should do. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, you guys suck, and you should better luck next time, not next year, because you're still gonna suck. Probably like better luck in like 5 years.
Better luck in a few years.
Better luck in a decade. I don't know.
Better luck another time.
Moving on to the game that Caitlin literally like was delusional about.
Hey. I admit it. Okay, let's listen. Here's the thing, guys. I was hated on so badly for this take by strangers on the internet. Okay, listen. If anyone actually paid attention, they would see that I said I didn't think the Patriots are good. I didn't think that they were going to beat the Texans because they were better than the Texans. I said that this would be one of the crazy fluke wins. Because like that's what shitty teams do is they come out and beat good teams out of nowhere. They're the ones that always like ruin the standings.
This is true.
and it's like a home game, and it was Drake May's first game. And I just want to say that I'm still not upset about my take. Okay. I think that my take was totally fine. It was delusional, and I'm happy to admit that because I love to admit when I'm wrong and I love to learn from it. Houston Texans did prove me wrong. They have plenty more offense than Nico Collins. But before we get into that, I do just want to shout out Drake May because I think he played really well. I think given the circumstances and given what he was coming into with a super shitty O-line and playing a team like the Texans, who are a much better team, I think he played really well. I got to get back to it. Sorry.
I think he played really well in the second half. I think
he did have a rough start.
I think he looked really poor in the start, which is expected
to be expected. Exactly.
He literally did not look like he had any field vision at all.
Yeah.
He looked scared, which fair. I would have been too.
Valid.
And even when he had open receivers, he missed, and then he was intercepted.
Yeah.
But then he relaxed, I think. I think he maybe took a deep breath. I don't know. Took a shot of tequila on the side. Something. Who knows?
I bet you he did. They were just serving him tequila on the side.
I guess. But, and then, second half happened and he got a 40-yard touchdown, and which reminded everyone, yes, he was the third overall pick.
Yeah. I think that's important to remember. And again, we'll get to it when we talk about Bo Nix too, because I actually said that he reminds me a lot of Bo Nix in the second half watching him. Mm-hmm. He's a rookie quarterback. He's making mistakes, but he's also learning from those mistakes, because when he came out of the second half, I wouldn't say it looked like a totally different quarterback, but he did look like a different quarterback because he started getting comfortable escaping the pocket. He started getting comfortable scrambling. He started getting comfortable making plays when he did not have a perfect pocket pass. Like when he wasn't just able to sit there in the pocket with no one coming at him and, he wasn't being rushed or anything like that. He wasn't comfortable doing that in the first half. He just kind of let it fly or got sacked or, just made really, really shitty decisions. And in the second half, he just became a lot more comfortable with giving himself time and with escaping the pocket and finding an open guy and making a play. And so I think that he, again, is someone that has that athleticism, has the ability to be a really great quarterback, but he is a rookie and this was his first start. And I think overall, just given the circumstances and given the O-line that he has.
With the Texans defense to finish with 3 touchdowns and 3 turnovers on your rookie debut and with the Patriots offense.
Yeah.
Pretty, it's respectable.
That's is. Yes. Yep. I agree. What was I going to say? The Texans looked great. They had 4 turnovers on defense and scored 41 points on offense, which is the most this Texans team has seen in over 3 years. So
they were running all over the place.
Yeah, like I said, the Texans just overall had such an amazing game. And like I said, maybe that is due to Nico Collins being out. They were like, who else can we throw in here? Yeah. And they figured it out. They had a lot of different people show up for their team, and they played really well. And I thought that this was really cool too. Will Anderson Jr., which is a Texans defensive end, he showed up really big. He recorded 3 sacks, 3 pressures, and a pass deflection that turned into an interception. So really big defensive game for him. Like I said, I just feel like the Texans just showed up and played probably their best brand of football. CJ Stroud looked great, and everyone else looked really great.
Joe Mixon had 13 carries for 102 yards, including a 59-yard touchdown. And then Dameon Pierce came out of nowhere, 8 carries for 76 yards, and he had a 54-yard touchdown. So
I know.
They did great this week. I think the Texans are going to be a real challenger to the Chiefs in the race for the number 1 seed.
I agree. And like I said, shout out to Drake May. I think that he'll be just fine. Like I said, he wasn't perfect by any means, but I think he showed flashes of what we know he can be when he gets the experience and gets a better team around him as well. Because I do think that is important for people to note with some of these rookie quarterbacks is that you are also a product of your environment. And if you are a rookie quarterback expected to fix an entire franchise, like some of these people are, even Bryce Young coming in last year, Drake May coming in for the Patriots, JJ McCarthy for the Vikings. Obviously, the Vikings are doing just fine without him. But, you have lots of rookie quarterbacks that kind of like came in like being expected to fix these franchises. And if you don't have perfect offensive pieces around them, then you're just kind of effed, Like you can't expect them to just like make everyone perfect. Like, oh, I'm going to make my receivers catch my passes. I'm going to make sure people hold on to the ball and not fumble. Like there's so many other pieces to it. So like I said, I think that he showed flashes that he can be great. And I think that he'll be totally fine with them.
That was also because that was another reason that went into your take. That was Houston's first win at Gillette Stadium, including playoffs.
Yes. Yes.
And they had been 0-7 until Sunday.
Thank you. I swear I'm not crazy. We saw what's it called? The Jags. No, the Colts beat the Jags or the Titans or someone.
No, the Jags got their first win because the team had never won in Jacksonville.
Thank you. Against the Colts. That's what it was. Because, the Colts had never won in Jacksonville. They were like 0-12 in like their last 12 matchups. Exactly. So I swear I'm not a psychopath. I take things into account, and I also admit that I'm delusional sometimes, okay? Sometimes you got to have hot, crazy takes, and that's what we're doing, okay? So be nice to me on the internet.
Things up. The interwebs.
Freaking weirdos. And they don't need to make podcast equipment more expensive because this was not cheap. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm fine.
For real. And if anyone can start a podcast, where's yours? I'd love to hear it. Where are your takes? Let's hear them.
Riddle me that, mister.
Riddle me that one. Oh, wait, I forgot. No one wants to listen to another podcast of men speaking about sports. Thank you.
That's why we're here. Own lane, bestie. We're in our own lane. So stay in yours. Stay on that side.
Stay on that side. We didn't ask you. Like, literally. Did
I want nice men. And all the girls. Secure men. And all the girls.
That part.
Period. We're fine. It's fine. We're doing great. Okay, guys. We've both had like mini mental breakdowns this week. We're doing totally cool.
I don't know if we're doing totally cool. I'm just sick of men abusing and being mean to women, like people on the Browns, Deshaun Watson. Anyway.
Wow. Great entry into this. Shout out to the Eagles. 5 sacks. Not enough.
Segue.
But
that's what it is.
Yes, a great segue. 5 sacks on Deshaun Watson. I know we are keeping track. Not enough. It wasn't the 7 that we were hoping for, but it is better than the 3 that he got a few weeks ago. So I will take 5 sacks. Shout out Eagles.
5 and above is a good line.
I agree.
Don't have a ton on this game. I did think that the Eagles would win by more than 4 points.
They had a rough
Eagles
game.
won 20-16. Yep. Philadelphia has not scored in the first quarter this season.
At all. Yep.
This is the first time in franchise history that the Eagles have failed to score in the opening quarter through the first 5 games of a season. They look not good.
They are not the Eagles that I expected them to be.
Like they have enough talent. They have enough superstar, like random talent on the team, like to get them by with the win, but like not enough to compete with like the Ravens of the league, the Chiefs of the league, and the Vikings of the league. And I don't think they're utilizing Saquon Barkley every week the way that they can. I don't know. It's just not great.
Yeah, they just they've looked slow and like disheveled. Like they don't have an identity, I feel like they're trying to find that identity. Obviously, shout out to the Eagles defense. They did keep the Browns under 20 points, which
they have not.
They have not even hit 20 points or more than 20 points at all this season.
Losers.
Do you want to hear how crazy this fact is? The Browns, before the third quarter of this Eagles game, the Browns had 26 third downs in a row that they did not convert. 26 third downs in a row. That they did not
Jameis.
convert.
Jameis.
Give us Jameis.
Jameis
Give
Winston.
us Jameis. Yeah,
Where
they
are
need him
you?
so bad. It's so bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson might be the worst deal in the history of the NFL.
Yep. Yeah, truly. It's embarrassing.
Do you think that at this point, the Browns just know that they suck and they know that he also sucks, and so they're just punishing him by sending him out
Letting
there to
him
get sacked multiple times? Like
yes,
the front
like I
office
said,
is like, whatever.
I literally,
if we have to pay him this much, at least he can get battered and beaten.
this is how I picture the O-line for the Browns. All right, ready, down, set, hike. Oh no. Oh, you said. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to get you sacked. My bad.
My little sister's watching. Oh no.
Oh, this one's for my mom. You dumb bitch. Okay, sorry.
I'm even talking about the front office. The front office is like, if we have to pay him millions of dollars, the least we can do is let him get sacked over 5 times a week.
Period. Yeah, it's rough, but on the
It's
other
well
end,
deserved.
the only like good thing that I have to say about this game, it's like so random because it was obviously such a slow game. Real quick, obviously, we're talking about the Browns. Amari Cooper to the Bills. I totally forgot about that. Amari Cooper
And Devontae Adams to the Jets.
Yes. Have we talked about that game yet?
No.
Because I have that. Oh, no. Okay. I was like, I have that. Did I forget to say that?
No, because the Bills and the Jets were on Monday. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yes. Yeah. Browns. They just got even worse. They lost their only good receiver? One of their only good receivers. They just got even worse. So sucks to be them. But yeah, so this was the stat, not the stat. I mean, it is a stat, I guess. I hate myself. Whatever. The Eagles defensive coordinator actually benched one of their cornerbacks, Avonte Maddox, and ended up starting a rookie, Cooper DeJean. And he had a monster game. And so I thought that was really cool because they were just like, and it's not that he was like bad, but he just wasn't he wasn't giving them what they needed on defense. Yeah. But he wasn't good. Yeah, he wasn't playing really well. So Avonte Maddox, just keep working hard, buddy. I'm so sorry. But Cooper DeJean, he had 6 tackles, a half sack, a QB hit, and 2 quarterback pressures as a rookie in his first game starting.
Wow.
And so I'm just like, you're showing up and you're disrupting the defense. So shout out to the defensive coordinator for just like seeing an opportunity and taking advantage of it because obviously it worked in their favor and he did great. Go team.
Go team.
Go team. But on to the next one. This is a sad game. On to the next one. So listen. Chargers versus the Denver Bronco Bears. And I have a lot to say about this game. Okay? I have a lot. And I am what's the word I'm looking for? A chronic Bo Nix defender. And
You're a Bo Nix apologist.
Yes. And I will continue to do that today.
Okay.
I just want to say that because, listen, just talk about this, all right? The first half of the game, the first 3 quarters, obviously, were not great. Okay.
The Broncos were not. I was in the stadium and I did not see them.
I didn't. Yeah. I feel like the Chargers played themselves really the first 3 quarters of that game because it was bad. But what I'm going to say here is that I think that if we would have scored that last touchdown, because obviously we only lost by a touchdown, if we would have had like the extra couple minutes and they would have been able to finish and score a last touchdown and whatever. So if they would have scored 1 touchdown.
So if they had just like actually done anything in the first 3 quarters of the game?
Exactly. Or like I said, if they would have finished the comeback, like say they would have finished the comeback and gone into overtime or even, went for 2 and won the game by 1. Okay. Like something like that. No one would be saying anything about Bo Nix. No one, because overall, his performance was that of several and I mean several, veteran quarterbacks in the league. And so, like, he was 19 for 33, which is 57% completion. For 216 yards, he had 2 passing touchdowns and 1 completion. These are just some random stats from other quarterbacks around the league. And granted, they are not for good teams, but they're guys that are not getting shit on, okay? And they're not rookies. These are veterans. So Daniel Jones, he was 22 for 41, 53.6% pass completion for 205 yards, 0 touchdowns. Joe Burrow, 19 for 28, 67% pass completion, so higher pass completion, obviously, with 208 passing yards, but he did not have a single passing touchdown. Justin Fields, 14 for 24, 58% pass completion, 145 passing yards, no passing touchdowns. Joe Flacco, 22 for 38, 57.8% completion, 189 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So and if you look at even the rookie quarterbacks that played, he played very comparable to all of them. And so I don't think that it was necessarily
I don't think this game was Bo Nix's
problem.
Oh, well.
No. I mean, an offensive problem as a whole, yes. A Bo Nix problem, no. Because I think that what I want people to put into perspective is that you are expecting, we're 3-3. I expected us to be 2-4, 1-5 right now. I we have a rookie quarterback. We were supposed to be almost rebuilding this year. I did not expect us to be 3-3, and we've showed flashes of a lot of really impressive stuff. Bo Nix has had himself 3 rushing touchdowns. He's one of the highest rushing quarterbacks right now, or quarterbacks with rushing yards in the NFL this season. I feel like he's doing his job. I feel like a lot of it, a lot of the third down conversions, we were 3 for 11 on third down, and just, converting in general. And so that's obviously awful, but I feel like a lot of that was also play calling, and a lot of that was guys getting to their place. A lot of that was dropped passes. You know how many Butterfinger stats there were in that game? 4 or 5 where Bo Nix made a perfect pass and it just wasn't caught. It went straight through guys' hands. I think Josh Reynolds had a drop pass. Lil Jordan Humphrey had a drop pass. Mims, no, it wasn't Mims. I don't know. A couple of other guys had dropped passes. And then Javonte Williams had a fumble, and McLaughlin didn't do super great either. So I just felt it was the offense as a whole.
So many turnovers.
Yes. And just people are sitting here just blaming it on Bo Nix. So this is just me saying it's not a Bo Nix problem. It is just a Broncos offense problem. Bo Nix is showing that he is a rookie quarterback with a lot of promise. And I think that we need to give him a break.
I think a lot of it had to do on the defensive end with Pat Surtain going out with the concussion, because our defense has obviously been much better. And I do think that would have made a world of a difference. It felt,
I agree,
because it was like this in the first half and really the first 3 quarters, we didn't touch the ball. We would literally have the ball, it felt like, for maybe 1 minute, because we were 3 of 11 third downs. And they were 11 of 18. So the third down conversions are just awful. We're not following through. They were averaging 3 yards per play. It's been, the offense has just been so slow and miserable to watch as a whole. And of course, in the fourth quarter, it started to come to life. But in the first half, Bo literally had, I think this is what I was looking at, is that, in the first half, when we trailed 20-0, Bo Nix only had 22 yards.
Yeah.
And an interception.
Totally agree. I just think that we were totally discombobulated. No one was all together. The offense just didn't look right. And like you said, with the defense as well, having Pat Surtain out, obviously he got a concussion, and I wish for him a very speedy recovery. Those are obviously serious, so I hope he feels better. But a couple of the other defensive players were saying after the game that they literally just admitted they were we weren't there. We were after he got injured, he's kind of it's like Aiden Hutchinson. He's our leader, and you see him get injured. You see him go out with a concussion, and you just kind of lose your energy, and you kind of lose your vibe. And you're just suddenly meh. Like, it wasn't one of those games where they were like, let's go win for Pat. Like, it was one of those games that they were like, boo-hoo, this is sad. We're not going to play as hard.
I think that's
we're going to be sad, but
and I think that's part of the reason. Of course, Justin Herbert, passes for a season high of 237 yards.
Of course they did.
When you don't have your best cornerback out there, so
crazy.
I just think
and it doesn't help that Jaquan McMillan, and Riley Moss ended up being your cornerbacks, and both of them had penalties up the ass. Like, they were just like defensive pass interference on like so many plays, and
everybody.
So I think that like overall, it just was not the Broncos' best performance. Obviously, the fourth quarter was the only time anyone on our team really showed up, because they obviously stopped the Chargers from scoring, and then they scored 16 points, and technically had an opportunity to finish, and they just couldn't. So I think in my head, as the delusional Broncos fan that I am, here I am, head delusional Broncos fan, okay? I think the fourth quarter shows the team that we can be if we can put it together.
We need to do what we did in the fourth quarter for all 4 quarters.
Correct. It needs to be more consistent. So I just
does.
For me, like, I'm just not worried. Like I said, he's a rookie quarterback. I never expected us to win more than like 5 games total this season. So we're really right on track. Okay.
True.
We're right on track for what I want. Yes. And I just, like I said, I think everyone is showing like spurts of who they can be. And they're showing little flashes of the incredible players that we know them to be. It's just a matter of kind of getting comfortable and really putting that into position. And Sean Payton, I feel like, really needs to like work more with the offense. I think that he needs to work for our offense, like we were talking about with the Commanders. Mm-hmm. We need you to work for us, not against us, Sean.
I want a new coach, but that's just
Do you? Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't think it's just you, honey. I think there's lots of people that want a new coach. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the rest of the world is calling. Well, not the world, but no one cares about the Broncos that
Broncos
much.
Nation.
Broncos world. Let's ride. We'll just go to our next one, which is also a division rival. The Raiders versus Steelers. The Steelers played how I have been envisioning the Steelers playing all season.
I literally have my in 16-point font bold. Better luck next season, Raiders.
I'm dead. Bye, Devontae Adams.
Bye, Devontae Adams. Yeah, Najee Harris went everywhere for the Steelers. He exceeded 100 yards for the first time since ending last season with back-to-back 100-yard games. Yep. And he had rushed for 1,000 yards in each of his first 3 seasons.
Wow.
But entered averaging 3.3 yards per carry this year. He popped off. Their defense, which gave up 803 yards in losses in the past 2 weeks, returned to, how they were in the early season, which is holding everybody back. Pittsburgh held the Raiders to 275 yards. And 4-time All-Pro TJ Watt forced 2 fumbles and had 2 tackles for loss. He did not have a sack this game, but he did force.
He showed
2 fumbles,
up in other ways.
Pretty dang good, in my opinion. The Raiders don't have anything to save at this point. You don't have an offense. Devontae Adams is gone. You need a new quarterback because Aiden McConnell and Gardner Minshew are both brands of awful, and their offense issues go beyond even that of having a terrible quarterback.
You didn't like Aiden O'Connell?
No, I think he sucks.
Okay, that's valid.
I have him good?
I have him as an average rookie quarterback. I mean, he also wasn't supposed to be awesome either. And they lost but he just he himself didn't play horrible. I just think when you're without your 2 main receivers and your running backs are fumbling on crucial plays, a lot of it's not your fault. I think that he was fine. I think that he was maybe comparable to Gardner Minshew. But again,
that's what
I feel
I
like
just think they're both. I just think they're both bad, and and the Raiders have. I just think their offense is bad. They have like no depth at wide receiver. You just lost your only real talent, and then Jacoby Myers wasn't on there on Sunday. And then he literally had no one to throw to besides tight end Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
So DJ Turner ended up leading all Vegas wide receivers with 37 yards.
Wow.
And then the offensive line isn't good. So I don't know what to tell you, Raiders. You just suck, and better luck next decade.
Well, so that's what I was going to say, though, is like, I feel like with Aiden O'Connell, like with Gardner Minshew, like you should be better by now. You should be better at like recognizing certain things and knowing your game better and knowing your offense better. So that's why I was saying, like, I think for Aiden O'Connell, like, I feel like he came in and I think he did about as much as he could have done given the circumstances. And so if I were the Raiders, I would honestly keep Aiden O'Connell in for the rest of the season over Gardner Minshew and just give him the opportunity to grow. Like, you might see a better cornerback or a better quarterback from him than you have from Mr. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So
I think they need to like redo their offensive staff, and they need a rehaul this offseason.
Yeah, it's been rough, and they're what's the word I'm looking for? Their roster construction, I would just say, is just kind of shitty. So, but random super fun stat that I thought is actually kind of crazy that I had no idea. Najee Harris had a rushing touchdown, and it was the first Steelers rushing touchdown this season that wasn't Justin Fields. That was not their quarterback. He is the only guy who was not their quarterback that had a rushing touchdown. Oh my gosh. And also, they might start Russell Wilson this weekend.
I think they are going to start Russell Wilson this weekend.
I know. I just, I don't know if it's going to solve all their problems. I don't know. I'm excited
it's not
to
going
see it.
to, but I mean, what do you like? I mean, might as well try.
Totally. Yeah. Because I was even saying Justin Fields had a really rough first half, a very rough first half.
Yeah. He has not looked as good as he did.
Yes.
In the past couple weeks.
I agree. I feel like the past couple weeks, he's just like been I think we talked about this earlier this week. He's just been like increasingly getting worse. Like he's playing worse. Like he started off so hype and so well, and then he's just been kind of getting worse. So I'm excited to see Russell Wilson's first start. If they do start him, I'm excited to see his first start on the Steelers, not the Broncos. I'm excited to see what that looks like for him and what that offense looks like for him, and see if it works. I don't know. Other bad news for the Panthers. It's not really bad news. They just suck. So they're just bad.
I feel like I'm talking about the Eastern Conference in the NBA. Only it's just like literally there's so many bad teams in the NFL. It's like appalling.
Yep, it really is. There's a whole group of teams that have losing records, like a whole fat group of teams that have losing records this year.
It's rough.
It is pretty bad. But Falcons beat the Panthers 38-20. This was the only game all season that the Falcons have led by more than 8 points. The Falcons have only played close games all season. So whenever they've trailed, they've only been trailing. They've never trailed by more than 8 points. And whenever they've led, they've only led by up to 8 points. So they've always been within one possession. They've only played in close games. And this was the first game that they didn't. This was the first game that they had a lead and held the lead and ended up winning by more than the 8 points. So I'm sure that it felt nice for them to have an entire second half where they weren't worried about having to come back or having to keep them from scoring the one touchdown to beat them. So good for them. The Atlanta crushed the Panthers on the run defense. They doubled their max rush yards. The Panthers have a really crappy run defense, and the Falcons normally don't have like the greatest run game. They only average like 100 yards ish or less per game on the ground, and they had almost 200 this game. So they just kind of ate up the Panthers defense. And obviously it's not a ton, but like it sucks when you're a loser.
Sure does.
Can I tell you a really funny, it's not really a funny stat, but like it's part of this game. Are you ready? All right. Falcons cornerback, AJ Terrell, just signed a 4-year, $81 million contract. Okay. He just signed a fat extension, $20 million a year. He's a cornerback. He has not had an interception in 3 years. $20 million a year. And he's a cornerback without an interception. And like, I was going through like his stats and stuff because I'm like, how is that so? And like, he's had, you know, deflected passes and plenty of passes defended. But like, overall, he's not a $20 million a year guy. So that's interesting for the Falcons. But I don't know. Falcons, I think the Falcons are actually a contender. I think that their offense is incredible. And they've got a decent defense. I would say a
their
contender
offense
in the
is
sense of
starting to roll. And I mean, I think the definition or one of the definitions or one of the qualities of a contender is not only being able to have, you know, like a good passing offense, but also a good running offense. So last week, you know, they threw it 58 times, 509 yards. And then this week they ran for almost 200. So I think that's like a really good, and their coach said that, I think that's a sign of a good football team. Like, you know, when you find different ways to beat people. So Bijan Robinson rushed for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, which was his first ever game with multiple rushing touchdowns.
Go him.
And Drake London is continuing to have an amazing start to his season, you know, 74 yards and a touchdown. So Atlanta's now tied with the Bucs at the top of the NFC South. So they have the head-to-head tiebreaker, and they go to Tampa in 2 weeks. They play Seattle. Falcons do I think home next week, and so they need to win going into that Bucs game.
I agree. They're just, I mean, like I said, I was even telling you that like the Buccaneers to me are starting to show themselves as like a really good team too. Like obviously one of the top teams in their division. So, but I like this Falcons offense a lot. I really have learned to love, like you said, the diversity in their offense. I feel like they can do a lot. And when you have Kirk Cousins, you can kind of ask a lot of him and you can expect a lot of him and the offense around him. So I've really enjoyed watching them, but I just think that this is really funny too. We're talking about the Panthers and they're disgusting and horrible. In like the nicest way. I mean that like football wise. Okay. Like they're just,
but you
really
guys suck. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Panthers have allowed 3rd down conversions on 50% of 3rd down drives this entire season. Like they're allowing 50% of 3rd downs to get converted to a first
for their
down.
defense.
It's
Where
nowhere. Not here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they're alone. They've given up 34, 36, and 38 points in games.
Yeah. Like I said, they're just, that's the hard part about them. It's not a hard part, really. It's just, they're just overall the worst. They have shitty offense. They have shitty defense. They've unfortunately got nothing going for them this season. So,
womp, womp.
Again, 16-point font. Better luck next time.
Better luck next decade.
Yeah. Are you ready for the next one, honey? I don't know if you're ever going to be ready for the next one, but we've got to talk about it. We've got to. If you don't already know, Spencer's a big Cowboys fan. And so this Lions versus Cowboys game shattered her into pieces.
My first bullet point is misery. Period. Hell. Period.
Misery.
7th layer of hell. Period. We were massacred. Period. Why does the world hate me? Period. I hate you, Jerry Jones. Period. Dak Prescott. We have beef. Period. The Cowboys lost to the Lions 47-9.
It could have been worse too.
let me just start off by saying that we are without
a lot of people. You guys are very
Micah Parsons, Eric Kendricks, 2 amazing linebackers, 2 amazing defensive ends, DeMarcus Lawrence and Marshawn Nealand, and we're still out Deron Bland. With all these injuries, Spencer has decided to now vastly decrease her expectations for this season with the Cowboys. And I am now going to put it on more of like the Broncos side of things, where like if we win, I'm going to be really, really freaking happy.
Just be happy. Yep, exactly. No expectations. Just be proud it happened.
This game was so bad for me. Jared Goff went off. He threw for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery ran for 2 touchdowns. This was our 4th consecutive terrible loss at home.
Yeah.
But I'm
intrigued that the Cowboys of all teams are doing so poorly at home. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're the Cowboys. Like, you guys have like the DCC, like you've got the cheerleaders, you've got the crowd, you've got you have everything to like win all your home games. You know, like you have home field advantage.
This was our worst home loss since 1988.
I didn't laugh. I was coughing.
Who became the first team? Okay. The Broncos literally gave up 70 points last year. Anyway.
I knew they were bad though. I always admitted that.
Okay. They became the first team since 2000 to trail by 14 or more points at halftime in 4 consecutive games on their whole home field.
Ow.
Anyway, I unfortunately really love the Lions team. Obviously not when they're playing the Cowboys. I feel really heartbroken for Aiden Hutchinson, who has a serious left tibia injury. So all jokes aside with how sad I am that my team lost, that is a massive blow to the Detroit Lions. He is, one of the best pass rushers like I've ever seen. Like he is, and he like
heart and soul
of
their defense.
Yes, defense.
No, you're good.
So
he leads the whole team. Let's be honest.
Let me just say, I said that we were massacred because they literally were doing trick plays against us in the end.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I was actually going to say that's
fun.
The one thing that I
love. They were literally having fun.
Oh yeah,
against us.
They were. Yeah, they literally had one where they did like 2 lateral passes, and they did like another one where they had a linebacker catch the ball, and yeah, it was a lot. But to be fair, Dan Campbell has done those trick plays in all of their other games too. Not just you. He definitely was a little excessive with them in this game.
Very excessive. Sam Laporta literally had a 52.
Had a lot of fun.
Sam Laporta had a 52-yard touchdown catch on a trick play when he was wide open so Goff pitched to Montgomery, who then pitched on a reverse to Amon-Ra, who got it back to Goff to pass to Laporta.
Yeah. I love their trick plays. If they weren't against the Cowboys and hurting your feelings, they're very fun. I would love to see them play the Panthers. I would love to see them play the Patriots and just like only do trick plays. I bet you they can.
Listen.
They
bullied us. It's not nice to kick a man when he's already down, okay? And when you're missing 4 starters on your defense, I'd say we were down pretty damn bad.
To be fair, their guy did just break his leg earlier in the game.
That's one guy.
Yeah, but he's your best guy, and he broke his leg in front of all of you. That's so sad.
I don't.
Yeah, I feel like I'm running out of excuses for the Cowboys because I've told you all season.
I don't have any.
I know. I told you I keep saying they have the pieces.
They gave up 5
great.
touchdowns and 4 field goals on their first 9 drives.
Yeah, Dak Prescott was 17 for 33 with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And Detroit doubled their offensive yards.
I hate it here.
I'm so sorry. It was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
I'm like, I just want to like warn you that obviously you guys have a bye week coming up.
No, we have a bad schedule. I don't want to talk about it.
I was gonna say, and then you guys have like such a hard schedule.
We can move on. It's over now.
I love you. I'm so sorry. Go Cowboys. We them boys.
We them losers right now.
Yeah, us too. Go Broncos. Go Bronky Bears. Go Cowboys. Everyone's sad and losing. It's fine.
We're all losers.
Yes. Next, we'll talk about the Bengals and the Giants. And first of all,
boyfriend.
Shout out to Joey B for his 47-yard rushing touchdown all by himself.
I love that man so much. I saw an interview today where he related most to Squidward because he said that Squidward gets angry at a lot of things and so does he. And I'm like, that's so valid. I love him so much.
So valid. He's great.
Real.
He cracks me up.
He's so
But I mean, okay, first of all, on his touchdown run, he hit a top speed of 19.69 miles per hour. 19.69. That's so fast.
Damn, he had wheels.
He's like a car. He could have gone through a town and got pulled over for being too fast.
Joey,
slow down.
I didn't know
You're
you
gonna
had
get
wheels
a ticket.
on. I didn't know you had wheels on you like that.
Joey. God damn it. Yeah, no, really, he did great. He was, this is also, I just wrote down this stat because it made my heart happy because it's like my favorite numbers and my birthday. Higgins was 7 for 7. He had 7 targets and caught all 7. He had 77 yards for an average of 11 yards per catch. And my birthday is 7/11 and my favorite number 7. So I just thought that was so cutesy. Go me. Literally, I know that no one else in the world cares, but I do. So thanks, T. Higgins.
I will say, while they did win, obviously, the Bengals offense is so bad. And I don't know how that's possible when you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And I honestly think that half of it or maybe most of it has to do with Zach Taylor. Their defense shut down the Giants. Yeah. And it seems like Joe still has to do 90% of the work himself, especially like when he's 19 of 28 for 208 yards against a really weak Giants secondary. Like that should tell you something. And like, in my opinion, it's not Joe Burrow's fault. I just think that Zach Taylor has previously shown that he's a bright offensive mind. Yeah. But, and they averaged 35 points over the last 3 games. But, 17-7 and being 2-4 is, staring like another wasted season, like down, Yeah. And when you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, like you shouldn't have wasted seasons like that.
You shouldn't be wasting seasons. Yeah, exactly. Especially I've been wondering if the Broncos want to reach out to one of them to get us like an offensive piece for Bobo. If you're just
they're not gonna give up Jamar Chase or T. Higgins.
Well, why not? They're bad. Amari Cooper, the Raiders gave up Devontae Adams. Why not? They should, like the Raiders gave up Devontae Adams.
The Raiders are literally awful and don't have a quarterback for Devontae Adams.
That's valid. I guess the same thing with the Browns and Amari Cooper, but still, it's so sad. Either way, I hate it. I'm sad that they're bad, and it was really weird too because the Giants, like their like only redeeming quality this season is like their run defense. They have a decent run defense. That's kind of the only thing
their defense can help them, keep them in some games and maybe win a couple.
Exactly. And that's like I said, that's like the only like Giants redeeming quality is that run defense. And the Bengals kept trying to run the ball too and could not get through their run defense. And I'm like, you have Joe Burrow. I don't know. I just thought it was annoying. And this is a really funny stat. Daniel Jones is 1-14 in primetime games. Get this man off primetime TV. He cannot win on primetime games.
Daniel Jones when it's a primetime game, the lights are too bright.
The lights are too bright. Yeah, literally 1-14. I'm like, why do you keep doing that? And also the Giants only have 1 touchdown in their 3 home games, so I'm sure that's really fun for Giants.
I mean,
fans.
when is Malik Neighbors coming back?
Next week, maybe. I think they were saying that he's getting
literally
close.
I think the only offensive piece they have.
It is, yes, and he's needed for them to score, obviously.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. Another bad game. I'm sad that the Bengals played so bad. I'm glad they won. Go Joe Burrow for his 47-yard touchdown. But
go boyfriend.
Last game, Monday night, Bills versus Jets.
This was a
Bills won.
Exciting game.
It was a decent game.
Especially
Bills versus
because
Jets, Bills won 23-20.
Because I won the spread on this one, and I said,
as you should.
I said it was going to be 20-17, but it was 23-20, so I was close.
Yes, you were. Good game, though, overall. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, we just talked about this. Jets just got Devontae Adams, and the Bills just got Amari Cooper. So I think that that's great for both teams. They just
I can't wait to watch this upcoming week's game.
But you want to hear something cool? Is that the Bills got Amari Cooper from the The Bills got Amari Cooper from the Browns for only $800,000, the way that the contract was written. The Browns ate up most of the cost because the way that Amari Cooper's contract was written is he got like most of his contract up front as a signing bonus. Oh. And so they only owe him another $800,000 for the rest of the contract. And so the Bills got him for a steal. They only have to pay $800,000 to get Amari Cooper on their offense.
Damn.
So, Lucky duckies.
This game was actually way more fun to watch because, you know, the Bills were up at halftime and were expecting to go in with a 10-point lead. And then Aaron Rodgers did one of my favorite things in the world.
Things.
He sent up a 52-yard Hail Mary touchdown throw. And then the first half
I love a Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm. I love a good Hail Mary. That was my go-to when I was trying to be good in Madden. I would just throw up a Hail Mary every single time.
As you should.
So the game towards the end, of course, lost a little bit of offensive steam. But, then both defenses really went to work, and then Josh Allen looked a little bit better. He threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for another, and Tyler Bass, he had an earlier miss and then kicked to go ahead, like 22-yard field goal with 3 minutes and 43 left to help the Bills snap a 2-game losing streak. So they've never lost 3 straight with him starting as a quarterback, which I did not know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like Josh Allen is I feel like he's good. I was actually just about to say, how we were talking about Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts being the best quarterbacks with completing passes while running at high speeds. I know, such a long-winded stat. Well, Josh Allen completed his 42-yard pass in that game. He had one really far downfield pass, 42 yards, while he was running at 16.26 miles per hour. And if you remember, last time we were talking about this, we were talking about passes made over 14 miles per hour.
Yeah.
This is 16.26 miles per hour where he completed a 42-yard pass, which is the fastest speed for a deep completion for any quarterback in 2 years. So Josh Allen is still playing at such a high level despite the last couple of weeks that they've had these losses and everything like that. But he still has not thrown an interception this season. I'm going to knock on wood. I guessed that he would throw an interception last week because we were all talking about it. But he still has not thrown an interception, which is awesome. So he's been playing really well. But the Bills' O-line needs to be better because as I was watching this game, what's his butt? Josh Allen only got sacked twice. Okay, he only got sacked 2 times, which not too bad. It could have been so much more if Josh Allen was not the quarterback that he was.
Is.
Yes, exactly. If he wasn't that quarterback, he would have gotten sacked. He would have been a Deshaun Watson. He would have gotten pancaked 7 times. Doesn't matter. He would have gotten smashed. And he wasn't. He only got sacked twice because like he was having a really hard time. Like being able to have any time to make those downfield plays. Like he didn't have any time, which is why he had to run 16 miles per hour to make a 42-yard pass. So the Bills O-line needs to be a little bit better at giving him time to make those plays, giving him any time in the pocket, because he has the capabilities to make so many incredible plays. And just like imagine if he can make those passes running at 16 miles per hour. Imagine how nice it would be if he could just stand in the pocket and make a play without like even having to stress about anything else. Yeah. Exactly.
I wanted to say to everyone, if you have not seen, because I think we've done 3 now, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I think 3. We've done 3 previews, I believe, of like Sunday slates and usually the Monday game. And Caitlin and I both said that this was going to be a very important game for Breece Hall, and he delivered. He had 113 yards rushing and 56 receiving. He won me money, so thank you, Breece Hall. I had him rushing for over. I did a live game bet in the first quarter after he had that huge run in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think in the first few minutes, and I ended up putting him for getting over 110 yards, and he got 113.
Period.
So thank you, Breece Hall. But he had a great night. Rodgers was 23 of 35 for 294 yards. I think Caitlin called this to be more of an offensive game, which is funny because Aaron Rodgers said the same thing. He thought they were going to have a bigger night on offense.
Yeah, and, I thought they all were going to.
And I thought it was leaning towards that at halftime when he threw the Hail Mary. It looked like it was going to go in that direction. And then it was more of like a defensive game towards the end, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. It ended up being, I would say, just like an overall, like I would just say it was a good game. Like it was good on offense. It was good on defense. I feel like everyone really showed up. We are talking about, or we've been talking a lot about rookies today. And I just thought that this was really cool for the Bills. James Cook was still out with a toe injury. Okay. And so their rookie, Ray Davis, had to step up behind Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson is like their backup running back. And so they have this rookie, Ray Davis, who was their 3rd string and then became their 2nd string, their 2nd option. And as their 2nd string running back and a rookie, he had 152 total yards, 97 receiving, 97 rushing and 55 receiving.
Wow.
So like what 152 your first game, like rookie backup running back, that's huge. So rookies
huge.
Showed out this week. Good for them. What a great rookie draft class.
The week of the rookies.
Yes, it was incredible. So shout out to them. I don't think that firing the Jets head coach was their problem. I just want to add that in there real quick.
Gasp.
Crazy.
What?
I know. I'll be so.
You can't blame an entire roster of individuals on one head coach. Oh my God.
Not today. You can't.
Wow.
I know.
I need to rethink my philosophy.
I'm excited to see the Jets with Devontae Adams. I'm excited to see if that kind of, I don't know, propels things forward. Exactly. Yeah. Propels
Clearly,
things forward.
They're both very excited. They look like two little happy little clams together.
Little peas in a pod.
2 little peas in a pod.
Yep. So I'm excited to see them. They've obviously in the past, they've been a really, really, really great quarterback receiver duo. So I'm excited to see kind of what that looks like for them. Week of football. If you're still here, we love you.
Mild
We're going
to
do Go team. We just love the NFL. Okay, that's all.
We do. I'm very excited because who's my team that I'm in? The Lions and the Vikings play this week. And because I'm not like I'm like a fan of them both, if that makes sense, but I'm not a part of the fan base. Yeah. So I'm like really excited for this game. Yes, I just get to, I like don't care who wins, but I like love both of a lot of the people that they have on their team. So I'm like, this is going to be my favorite game, I think, of the week.
Yes, I'm super excited. Obviously, the Broncos play on Thursday. So if you don't normally watch them, you better watch them and cheer for the Broncos for me. Thank you.
Yes, Cowboys have a week off. Let's hope that helps in any way.
I said that they have a bye week, and I said I doubt there will be any relaxing for this Cowboys team. They better be working hard, unfortunately. But
no vacations for you.
Yeah. Yep, but if you don't already know, we are U Sports. I'm Caitlin. This is my lovely best friend and co-host Spencer,
and that's my lovely best friend and co-host Caitlin.
And I'm really disgusting and weird, so literally whatever. But anyway, we're U Sports. We are just girly pops who talk football and basketball. Obviously, NBA is coming back. We're so excited to start talking NBA with you guys too.
Listen, I cannot wait.
Me neither. I just want to say we're for the guys, we're for the gals, we're for the gays, we're for the theys. We are for everyone.
Whatever you decide the pets.
Yes. Who cares if we?
Not I.
We're here to just talk sports with you, whoever you are. We're not here to be better than anyone else. We're not here to exclude anyone. Well, we just want a space for women to be able to talk sports and give kind of a fresh, fun view of sports from a girl's eye, a girl point of view. We see things a little bit differently than you guys do. We perceive things differently than you guys do. A little bit. Sometimes we put psychology into things. Sometimes we put feelings and emotions into things, okay? And that's okay because it's just a different perspective and it's fun and fresh. And we don't do angry, hot rage bait takes. We just try to talk sports and enjoy it. So subscribe, follow us, comment, whatever. We have all of our other links below. We are also on Apple and Spotify. We've got merch. We've got cute stuff. We've got all sorts of fun stuff. Shout out to all of our amazing followers and subscribers and everything because they helped us raise $400 for a domestic violence charity here in Arizona. And I am so grateful I was able to donate the $400 to this place called Eve's Place. It is a domestic violence nonprofit, and they work with women and families and helping them get back on their feet and also protecting them, keeping them safe if they are getting out of dangerous situations. That stuff is very important to us. So we were really happy to be able to do that and really grateful for all you guys pitching in. And some of you guys pitched in so that we could literally donate some of our merch to another amazing organization in Denver. So I will actually be shipping some t-shirts and hoodies out. I thought that it would be really cute because the what's this thing called? The organization is for women and families and mothers at just getting off of their feet. And I'm just excited. I'm very grateful for this small platform that we have to be able to do good things like that because it's something that's important to both of us. So thank you all so very much. We are so happy you're here and we're so happy to be here.
We love you. We will see you on probably Saturday morning for an NFL Sunday slate, of course, week 7 preview. Yay. And then we will see you possibly on next Monday, possibly again. We'll be releasing our preseason NBA episode, which, listen,
we've got some stuff to say.
I have some stuff to say.
Oh my goodness.
We love you. We love you. We miss you. We can't wait to talk to you soon. Okay, bye.